Awesome. We are live on YouTube, guys. We are live. Holly, how you doing?
I'm all right. Guess who I ran into today, actually,
Uh-oh. Who'd you
at
run
the
into?
courthouse.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Well, that's good.
No, I ran into Fawn. I said,
Oh,
guess
okay. I thought it was a tenant I thought it was a tenant you might be evicting. That's why I was like, this is good. Yeah. That's
well,
awesome
actually, I
news.
ran into his brother after the court date at the gym.
Oh, okay. That's all right. That's
Right.
all right. We gonna get it done. We gonna get it done. Good to see everybody on. We are live right now. I see some new faces. Ashley, how you doing? I haven't seen Ashley this week, so I got to get with you this week, Ashley. Bree, how you doing? I
And
see Bree's. I think Bree's new. How you doing, Bree?
hey, how's it going? I
Good,
am.
good, good to see you. Good to see you, Brandon. Brandon's in the building. How you doing, Brandon?
What's up, my guy? How you doing?
Good to see you, Antoine in the building. How you doing, Antoine?
Absolutely amazing.
Good. All right, that don't sound. I need some energy tonight. We gonna bring the heat. I
All
need some
right.
energy tonight. You muted right now, Antoine.
Oh, I feel absolutely amazing. I got
Good. That
I got a
sound like
good
it
one.
now.
I feel absolutely amazing. I got a good one to share.
Good.
Awesome.
Good. Good. Oh, I can't wait. Adam, how you doing, Adam?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling like a villain. You?
Good. Good to see you on. I see you in the gym, Adam. So I'm glad to see. I didn't know if you're gonna be able to make it. Them legs might be hurting.
Yeah.
Good to see you. We got Clarissa. How you doing, Clarissa Maria? How you doing? Awesome.
Explain. Good.
Good. Good. Good.
See you.
Nicole is on dinner duty. Uh-oh. I hope you're making something good, Nicole. I know you are. I can smell it through my screen.
Yes, I'm excited.
Good. Good. Tonight is like a kind of a high value, high level real estate conversation that we'll be having. I think it should bring everybody tons of value when you're looking at evaluating your next deal, trying to figure out how much your property is even worth. Um, so with no further ado, what time do we have? 6:30. Let's get started. If you guys want to tune in after, I'll be I'll be talking about investing in the US after. You guys are welcome to join. You guys are ready, probably ahead of most of the people. There's a lot of people in Canada that want to invest in the US. So I'll be doing a live there. So you guys feel free to hop on if you want to after. Um, the art of comparables, determining your ARV. This is, like I mentioned, high level. Seth and I worked very diligently yesterday. Me and Seth ended up on a call. This usually takes us like 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I think we were on the phone for like 2 hours yesterday, Seth. This
Yeah,
was
I know.
We got a lot done, and I'm excited to share this with you guys, share some other news. We got some big news, hopefully we could talk about. So without further ado,
We got things in the pipeline, things coming down, more value. Where is this? There it is. Mr. Grant. All right. Well, we'll get started, everybody. For you, all of you guys again that are new and don't know me, my name is Seth. Been investing since 2018, 2019. I host a local meetup here in Morgantown, West Virginia. So if you are in the area, it is this Thursday. So come on out and enjoy. Network with some other investors. I invest in small multifamilies here in West Virginia and then partner with folks in Richmond, Virginia on all kinds of different things. So we've been putting this together for what have we been doing this about 5 months now?
I don't know, not long enough. I wish we would have did
Right.
it sooner, man.
I tell you what, but it's a good thing. So Ray and I put this together a little while back. Ray, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, Ray Glimp. I have over 100 doors, 10 million in real estate deals, tons of awards. But to me, none of that matters. The most value I can give to you guys is this education, spending our time with you guys week in and week out, free education that we offer to you guys every week. I know we only get to, scratch the surface of so much real estate. To my students, we do a lot of one-on-one stuff. But this is just a privilege to host every week. We bring you guys 100% energy. We take time away from our kids, from family, business time to make sure that we could be here every week and spend it with you guys. So, and I appreciate you guys being here with us as well.
Yep, absolutely. Getting a turnout like this every single week. We're getting so many people in here and joining and stuff like that. That's why we do it. It's because you guys keep coming back that we keep doing this. So We appreciate your time as well. Happy to share this out to anybody who's new, anybody that wants it. You can drop your information in the chat too and share it with the group. Social media contacts, anything that you want to do, where you're at, where you invest in, things like that. But Ray and I, with this group, we we're investors. We're not professional attorneys or tax consultants, CPAs, any of that stuff. And so we're giving you our advice from our expertise and from our experiences, but we definitely encourage you to seek professional advice from those attorneys, tax advisors, CPAs, the whole 9 yards.
Before we go on with the breaking news, sorry to cut you off, Seth. If you guys could drop in the chat where you're from, drop your name, drop your Instagram name. This is about community, man. I don't want to lose the focus on community. This is all about community. So drop your information in the chat. We'll follow you. I'll make sure I follow. If I don't follow you back, put it in there. I'll make sure I follow you back after this. All right. This is all about community, and we've done so much networking here. So just make sure you drop your information in the chat. All right.
Yeah, I know for a fact money has been made in this room, and
oh my God,
deals have happened, right? Business connections have happened in this room. So
good. Yep. So make sure you guys put your information there. So the breaking news, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I actually posted this on my own social media. The housing market is very undersupplied. Who would have known, right? We haven't been shouting that for months. The supply issue, right? New housing starts. And what this is talking about is that the amount of new housing starts is down about 15%, right? So any housing, we've said it for, months. I think every month we chisel this in. There is going to be a housing supply. So if you can invest now, invest sooner than later, because there is a shortage of houses. There are a shortage of deals. It's not going to get any better. Highly doubt it. So if you can, just make sure. Yeah, go ahead, Seth.
I want to piggyback on that too, because I saw something, and when we were putting this together, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until you were talking about it right now. But I saw something over the weekend. Another thing that came out of COVID, right? 2023 actually saw the largest population bump since the baby boom, right? It's the number of babies that were made during the COVID area and stuff like that. 2023, the number of children born in the United States is one of the highest increases year over year since the baby boomers. So what does that mean, right? It means the population right now, right? All the baby boomers had babies. Now we don't have enough houses for everybody. Well, you know what? Now all of them are having more babies, and we're not going to have any houses for them when it comes. You're looking 18 to 20 years from now, you're going to be in even a worse situation, or a better situation, really, for us as investors if you do it the right way.
Yeah, for sure. So we're starting to see. I know in my market, I'm sure in you guys' market, finding affordable housing is in demand. It's just affordable housing just don't go hand in hand right now. Right, it's tough to find. I think the average market house in the U.S. is about 400,000. So take that into effect, and then the average American makes about, I think, 80,000. You can't even afford a home. So it's only gonna get worse. So that's why we're here. We're hopefully preparing you guys and getting you guys ready for the things that are about to come and that we believe are coming. Cool. So this is like our favorite segment, section of this. Gold diggers. We want to hear from you guys. All right. If we can keep it kind of a little bit shorter, 1 minute, 2 minutes. We want to hear the goals that you guys have accomplished, goals you're looking to accomplish this week, things that you've done. And Seth, if you want to start with what we talked about first, you want to say it? I'll let you.
Yeah, absolutely. Ray's been working really hard on building out his educational program and stuff like that. Ray and I have been working together, and he sees that, some of my strong points can absolutely add to the value that he brings to all of his students. So we're working on a partnership that will integrate this group as well, add value to this group with maybe another call for the folks that are interested, and also add a lot of value to the students and stuff like that, learning about some other parts of real estate that Ray doesn't teach about. So
yeah,
adding a lot of value. It's awesome. I tell you what, it was a good conversation yesterday.
Yeah. So pretty much, I think the way we summarize it is that we want to add a Wednesday call It'll be specific to hearing about you guys, your real estate deals, and your questions, right? Usually we're giving out the content. We're gonna do a Wednesday call, and it'll be specific to you guys. I want to hear about your deals, what's going on in your network. We're gonna talk about goal setting, mindset, mentality, shifts of that nature. And then Seth and I will also be working on the back end on the course information to design a wholesaling course. I know some students ask me about wholesaling. I tell you guys, I've done it before, but it's not my specialty. So Seth and I are going to be working together to give you that wholesale course. Okay. Anybody else? I want to hear about you guys' wins that you've had this week, this month. Let me hear from you guys. Just go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to go.
Well, this is Antoine. I'll go first.
Okay,
I mean,
Antoine.
technically, this isn't a win, but then technically, is it a win for me? My lovely wife just closed on her second real estate transaction in the state of Georgia. So that is a win for us.
That's a good win. That's a good win. Congratulations.
It's a
It
win
is.
for your family, right?
Yeah.
Listen,
There you go.
listen.
It's a blessing and a win for you. 100%.
Absolutely. This is the second transaction in the state of Georgia, and this is the first one outside of her family. So I'm very proud of her.
Good, good. Anyone else? Any small wins this week? Carissa says she's been staying on top of her real estate professional status log.
There you go.
Nicole said a tenant's re-signed their lease for another year. Congratulations. Between my two properties, no vacancy in 2024. That's huge. All right. No vacancy is huge. That's more cash in your pocket. So congratulations to you.
Vacancy is the #1 killer of cash flow.
Yep. Any other small wins before we continue on?
Yes, Ashley, absolutely setting up her business Facebook page, putting her information out there with the flyer. You're on mute.
Sorry, it's the small things that adds up. I mean, I have an Instagram, but now Facebook is definitely reaching a lot more people as far as like customer acquisitions.
Yeah, groups are a powerful thing.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm a little biased, right? Because I got the Mountaineer group that I told you to get in there. But I mean, there's so many other ones. You just kind of think about where you want to advertise and the people that you want to reach and find those groups, and you can find clients for days. Same thing with real estate investing, right? I mean, Ray and I both have bought deals off of Facebook and groups like that. So
I've got deals in this chat from just being here. So it's here. Be part of a network that'll help you guys grow. Remember that.
Yep.
All right. Anyone else? Small wins before anyone you want to share?
Yeah, I took myself off mute.
Go ahead, Bree. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, so it's my first time new to the group. Thank you guys for having us here, but appreciate you for setting this up. I think this is amazing. But yeah, so in the last week, I'm from Mississippi, born and raised. I live in Atlanta, Georgia now, but I visited my grandparents back home and found a new market that I definitely think I want to tap into. Visit a few properties out there that are very, very profitable. So really right now, trying to find like gap funders and trying to see if I can get some motion out in that little pocket area. I've invested in Texas and Mississippi before. So I thought I was going to start in Georgia, but I think I'm going to pivot back to Mississippi because it's just a lot easier to get the deals where I'm at in that area right now. So we'll see what happens.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Congratulations.
it's awesome.
Love to hear it. Anyone else with small wins before we move on? Great. I appreciate it.
Something in there, right?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
I came off of vacation and I came back into the country. I have 2 closings this week, and then I got one coming up at the middle of March. So I'll share those small wins with you guys. Definitely a game changer, but I'm pretty excited about it.
Man, I remember you wasn't getting no deals. So I'm happy for you. That's a big win. My man got off from vacation and walked into some deals. So congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. Congrats. It's the power of the network, guys. Just being around the right people. I'm glad to see it. All right. Any other wins? Any small wins you guys want to share before we move on? Chad, good to see you on. Good to see Fang. Good to see you on. Good to see everybody else on. New people. Good to see you on. Let's go forward, Seth.
All right. So we're gonna dive right in. We had a quote that's perfect for this one. We want to save it for the end. So we just kind of dive in. There's a lot of different ways when it comes to the ARV and finding comps and things like that. A lot of different tools out there that you guys can use. I think the most important thing before you dive into it though is what is a comparable, right? What is a comp? And it's different in every single market. It's different in every single town, right? It depends on the population growth or decrease. It depends on a lot of different factors. But bottom line is you want to find, if you're looking for, if you've got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath brick ranch home, you'd like to find another 3-bedroom, 2-bath brick ranch home on the same street that just sold.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what it is. You want to find it as close as humanly possible. It's typically better to go farther out in date than it is on mileage, right? You don't want to be 10 miles away. You don't want to cross major streets and things of that nature. But you want to find something as close as humanly possible. And sometimes that can be a struggle, especially when you're doing it in rural areas.
Yeah. And one of the things I think we should mention too is that when you're comping a property, it's different when you're comping a commercial property versus a residential. I think and residential can be defined as 4 or less units. And even depending on what type of lender you're dealing with, they might consider 4 or more as commercial. So just whenever you're comping a property, just be careful of that. I think that's pretty important.
You're also going to think about it a little bit different on the way that you're doing your exit. Same thing with commercial versus residential, right? But a fix and flip or a buy and hold, you can actually look at those differently, right? So, fix and flips, you don't necessarily need to look at what the potential rental income is and what your cash flow situation is going to be. You're looking at that true aftermarket for how much your list price is going to be. It is important to find that true aftermarket on a rental though, because that price, you're basically predicting what your appraised value is going to be. So if you're going to do a BRRRR method and refinance,
you got to know that.
Important. You know, it gives you a peek into what you think that appraisal value is going to be. And wholesaling is a whole nother thing, right? Because when you're wholesaling the property, you need to find that ARV when you're doing your marketing and stuff like that. But how are you going to market it as a potential flip, as a potential rental, right? So you got to think about what your end buyer is thinking about. So it's a lot of different things to think about.
Yeah. So pretty much what we've listed here are some of the tools and ways to actually analyze, I guess, what your not only your ARV, but the comps in the area would be. So CMAs, we have an example of a CMA. We won't slip to that one. We'll after this information. Real estate websites and databases. So that could include things like Zillow. Sometimes you can get, I don't know if Zillow has CMAs. Sometimes, I guess realtors will usually give you a CMA though. If you're working with a realtor, they'll specifically give you a CMA. But websites like Zillow, we'll throw out PropStream, Trulia. Those will be.
Realtor.com.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them that are out there that are free.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing, whether you're doing a CMA too, and we'll show you an example of one of those, or these other websites. It doesn't matter if it's a paid site or a free site, and it doesn't matter if it comes from a real estate agent or if it's something that you're doing yourself or it's just from a buddy, is that all these things, there's a lot of subjectivity that comes into it. And when Zillow, especially when, they're famous, I mean, it's all just by computer programs and algorithms that they're pulling the stuff, they're pulling it from public data. Public data is accurate. It may not be accurate. I've gone to 5 different sites and found 5 different square footages for the same house.
Seth, how accurate is Zillow? You want to tell these people how accurate Zillow is?
I have not found a Zillow price that is on point. I've seen $50,000 too high, and I've seen $50,000 too low.
Right.
But I mean, PropStream's the same way, right?
Yeah.
The AVM that the MLS gives you, right? Atom Data, all of them hit all around. That's why you need to have multiple sources and
that's the importance of having all these tools, right? And that's the importance of not just having to rely on just Zillow or just a CMA, but having all these tools that you guys can utilize to actually analyze a deal. And like you said, Zestimate, I look at properties that I've sold before and his estimate's way off. I'm like, there's no way that property is going to sell for that much.
Right.
You know, appraisal.
I've used a highest estimate to sell a deal as a wholesale deal. Look at this. I mean,
Yeah.
Right? And it,
Yeah.
anything to back your numbers up.
I think I'll tell you guys for one of my most accurate ways, and it varies, but I've had great success, is going to be contacting an appraiser, right? Working with an appraiser closely before, you start your rehab, or, even before you buy the property, I highly suggest having an appraiser look at it. But appraisers even can vary so much from property to property. I've had 2 appraisers come out and look at the same damn property, and one quoted me 50,000 more. And you hear these stories. I mean, they're kind of just throwing darts at it. So you want to have all these tools, especially to give to appraisers as well. Like, I'll give an appraiser a CMA. I'll give them, hey, like, these are, the nearest closest properties within the next mile that have sold in the last year. We'll give them that data. So when they go to analyze our property, we've kind of done some of the work for them, and they know, like, hey, these are the similarities between.
It's also another key there that he just mentioned that you want to point out: sold properties, right? Not properties that are listed for sale, not properties that are pending, but actually sold, actually closed. Because just because something's pending for 200,000 doesn't mean that there wasn't 25,000 in seller concessions, right? And it actually sold for 175. And just because somebody's asking 200,000 doesn't mean anything.
Hey, Ray or Seth, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So is there a certain tact that you use when you're approaching the appraiser with the CMAs? Like, is that something that they could be like feel a little bit uneasy about? Like, you're trying to share with them how they do
this? So what I'm telling them when I send it to them is that we've done our due diligence as well. Like, so I'll give you an example of a property that I just rehabbed, and it came below the ARV that we expected. But I presented them, pretty much things that had sold in the nearest within a year. I think we got within 4 months, 5 months. It's close to that. And so for us, sometimes the properties differ. This was like a 5-bedroom unit. We couldn't even find any 5-bedroom units, So appraisers are pretty particular. I mean, they're just going to vet it how they see it. But by me presenting that data, it helped make my case. I know one of them, we actually fought the appraisal on it.
So in this scenario, they came back with a number and then you provided the CMA?
No. I provided at the beginning.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we always going to do that due diligence before. And the same way you would do your due diligence before you go buy the property, this is part of the due diligence process, right? Is knowing, hey, this is the ARV. This is what the property should be worth. We're going to provide them with that based on facts, right? Not just the Zestimate. Hey, this is what Zillow said. They'll throw that out the window, right? But if you say, hey, look, these are the properties that sold. Seth, let's just go to CMA maybe, and we can kind of just show them, do you have that available? Look. So we're going to provide this data of like, hey, these are the properties sold, comparable, years that were built, the square footage. These are the things that I'm going to bring to the realtor or to the appraiser and say, hey, look, my property has more square footage than this one. My property, this was built a different year, so it may not be as much, but this was renovated more recently. Different finishings that come into play. If you put just a shower surround versus tile, we have better finishings in them. Our roof is newer. Those are all things that I put specifically into it. Our design has a better layout. Our flow is different in the house. Those are all things that I give to the appraiser. So that way, when they go into my house, they know, okay, this guy has done his work, right?
Yeah, a couple of things on these up here. This is your estimated value that they're giving you on PropStream, is where this is. It gives you all kinds of different information. That basically just pulls all the public data and puts it all in one place for you. It's a paid for service. This is actually from the MLS, from an actual CMA that I ran for my business for one of the properties that we were looking at. So this is the Central Virginia MLS, where my investments are in Richmond, Virginia. So it's going to look completely different depending on which MLS you're using. So my business partner's a broker there in Central Virginia. That's why I have access to this. I partnered with a realtor in my local market so that I have access to MLS in my local market that I invest in as well. Like Antoine's on the call, right? Like find somebody in the market that is a licensed realtor to be able to use this MLS because it is the most accurate data. You need to be able to manipulate it the way that it is. When I started this search here, I probably had 15 or 20 comps, right? Being, this much square footage, this many bedrooms in this circle within a half-mile radius sold in the last 180 days or something like that. And then what I do is I just go straight through. If I'm looking for retail comps and what my future value is, I don't look at anything other than pictures.
So,
and I'll just
go ahead, Seth. Yeah.
I just cycle right through, and the 5 nicest ones I have, I don't care what the price is. I select those, and then I put them in here, and it pulls all that data for me.
I want to show y'all this, right? This is impromptu too, because I wasn't planning on showing this. We damn sure didn't rehearse this. This is something that I would provide to the realtor or to the appraiser, right? This is a property that I just looked at, vetted from somebody else. They got a little disclaimer here, but they have location information, right? I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera, if you can see it clearly. They have, a layout of what the property is, nearest comp, what's this sold for. I'm going to put pictures of what the inside of the property looks like. Let me see. So I'm going to be providing this to the appraiser. Like, hey, this is the information. Here's my finishing work. This is what I'm going to do it before and after, right? I'm going to show him, hey, this is the area. This is the area that we're investing in. Sometimes you have appraisers from out of state who aren't familiar with the area, so they might not know, okay, well, this street is different from that street. Hey, here are the things that are in the area, right? These are the major convenience stores, I'm giving them all this information from the time that they get it. They got the layout. They got everything. Every tool that they need to do their homework, I have it for them. Look at the circle, right? It's all there. It's all there.
That looks like an investment prospectus.
It is. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Financial, but that's what I'm preparing for them. Financial analysis. They know, hey, these are because they want to know, like, hey, what are your rents, right? Especially if you're getting into, if you have a single unit, but even let's even say you're going to get a DSCR loan or something like that. They're going to want to know, hey, what are your rents, right? So you need to have hey, these are my market rents, right? That's going to factor into your DSCR, your debt service coverage, right? These are things that you need to know anyway. So when an appraiser come through, have it ready for them. And so that way you can say, hey, look, this is really what, these properties, because certain appraisers.
Same thing when you're going to go do a flip, right? And you're going and you meet with your private money lender or your hard money lender, right? Or anything, right? Like your due diligence period, you come in with a packet like that, then a lender is going to be like, this guy's on a ball. He knows what he's doing. An appraiser is going to be like, they know what they're doing, right? Like, yeah, I don't need to do a bunch of work here. He's got it covered. He did my job.
Yeah. If Sabrina was on, that's the same thing I told her. Have a perspective. Like, hey, you're looking for investors. You got to have this stuff. This is all the work that you're doing, and you're just preparing it and putting the template and giving it out. That's all you're doing. The work's already done for you. You've already done that work. Just make it available for somebody else to see. When you go get a loan, if you need a loan from a bank, if you walk into a bank and you got that already prepared, they probably going to take you, and they're going to take you serious. So be prepared. And this is, like I said, we're giving you guys the tools to do this.
Funny, Tim said if you're direct to seller, many of them use the Zestimates as their price, 100%. And that's, in my business and stuff like that, going direct to seller as much as I do, I hear that all the time, right? And every one of them is different, and I overcome the objection every other way, but I love that. I love that objection. It's because it's super easy, because I can show almost instantly how inaccurate Zillow is going to be.
Zillow has done people such a disservice. And I don't know, maybe one day Zillow will sponsor us, so I ain't going to talk bad on them, but it is a disservice of what they have done. Nicole said, if you completely disagree with the appraiser based on your research, they won't budge. Are you able to request another appraisal if the appraiser was bought in my bank for a conventional loan? So, yes, you are able to fight the appraisal, and we have done it, and I've done it successfully too. You can get a second appraisal. It costs you money. It costs you time. But in the end game, if you're going to make more for this on a flip, especially if you're flipping it or you're just trying to refi out of it, it might be worth it for you to actually get that a second appraisal. So that is something you can do.
Yeah.
If the appraisal was bought in from your bank, it might be a little bit tougher, but I would say you can still fight it. Especially, they're gonna ask you when they bounce back the appraisal, they're gonna ask you for a letter saying reasons, pretty much the same thing, reasons why you think the appraisal was incorrect. And you just need to be able to provide that. Hey, look, they comped it out of a 5 or 10 mile radius, and I'm gonna provide you a 1 mile radius. You know,
Right.
The properties that they comped out weren't near what my property is, or didn't have as many bedrooms or many bathrooms or something like that. So
Another thing we were talking about is the the 2 or the 3 or the 4 family units and stuff like that on the residential side. It becomes a lot more difficult on those because there just aren't as many of them out there, right? If you look in a city where I am, there are plenty of duplexes out here, but there's probably 40 times more single families in Morgantown, West Virginia than there are duplexes, right?
Yeah.
Like, and there's a lot of duplexes in this area, but still, single families are a plenty, and they're your most one. You're going to find the most opportunities for comparables on single families. When you start getting into multifamilies, it is where a lot of the issues come in.
Yeah. And even and it's respective to your neighborhood too, in the area you're invested in. But Seth, that triplex that I bought from you, for example, I think the ARV is like 150, bro. Right? So that limits my budget. But really, I know that thing damn well worth more than 150. Once I get a cash flow on a commercial standard, it's worth way more than 150.
Right.
If I go by the NOI, way more than 150. But
that's the market that we're in, though, right? Is
correct.
our rental rates outpace our property values drastically, right? Whereas there are other parts of the country where rental rates can't keep up, and that's where a lot of flips and things like that happen versus the long-term holds.
Yeah. Anybody questions on that before we move to the next section too? I think
this is Antoine. What do you mean by the rental rates outpace the property value?
So
I think let me see if I think I know. Is it the cash flow that happens over the course of 12 years is going to be more than the appreciation that happens that year?
Not really has to do with appreciation. It really has to do with resale value and this after repair value versus the percentage of rent, right? If you hang out with Bigger Pockets or listen to stuff with them, they throw out this 1% rule, and it's been used as a thumb rule by many investors over time, right? And that's great as a quick way to look at a property to see if it's going to make you any money as a rental. There are parts of this country that 1% rule is just not possible, right? Eddie knows this very well where he's at, right? But here, a 1% deal is a terrible deal, right?
Yeah.
Like no way me or Ray are going to be buying it.
Not worth the time.
It doesn't make any sense. We want closer to 2%.
Yeah.
Whereas in on the West Coast in Arizona and even in Richmond, Virginia, like you can't find 1%.
Yeah. Tim said the 1% is dead unless you go creative. 100%. I agree with you on that one. Yeah. So that's when the creative financing comes into play. And it just depends on the market. Again, I think it's just your market.
It depends on what part of the country.
That's 1% for the entire year.
All right. So if you rent, if your rent is $1,000 a month, then your all-in cost should be $100,000 for it to be to fit the 1%.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're in like a Seattle or something like that, I think your rents are about $3,000. Adam, you could speak. Maybe you're not gonna find a house for $300,000, right? That's you're not finding that.
Hell no.
You're looking at more like $600,000, right?
Probably even a little bit more, like maybe
7?
around
Okay.
7, yeah.
7, yeah. And the rents are what, 3,500?
I mean, you could say around like 31, 32-ish.
1% way that you add 0.5%. Unless you get creative, you find these deals off market, wholesaling, etc. I mean, you got to get creative in your market. So each market is totally different. And again, that's our job here is we give you guys the tools, right? That's all we're here to do is just help you get the tools.
That's also the benefit of this stuff and all the different things we were talking about. What was it, last week or the week before last? We were talking about investing out of state, right? So people that want long-term holds, right? Now you have a way to find markets like, Ray and I's where the cash on cash return is stupid, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to go out of state and you want to do picks and flips and get higher returns and bigger spreads, then you got people in this room like Adam and Eddie and stuff like that are in highly appreciating, highly valuable areas where fix and flips are definitely a better possibility.
Yeah. So, well, like I said, I just hope we equip you guys with everything you need to go out into this real estate world and take down a deal or your next big one, whatever it may be. Let's go on to the next slide, Seth.
Thanks. Yeah, so this is that bottom portion here on this CMA here. Just to show you guys, it goes through bedrooms, bathrooms, levels, year built, gives you all the information. The biggest thing that we look at personally in my business is the sold dollars per square foot, because that directly can be calculated for my property that I'm looking at. If I'm looking at a house that's right around 800 square feet, all these properties are right around that 800 square feet. If I take this median price per square foot at 263, I can expect my ARV to be 800 times 263, whatever that is, what, 180 or so.
Yeah.
As my projected value. So days on market too. This is another thing, and it's 100% going to be based on your market. But this is something huge to look at, especially in the flip market. If you're going to be putting these things, and they're averaging 90 days on the market, you need to know that you're going to have 3 months worth of holding.
You're gonna have some holding costs, yeah. You're gonna have in today's market. If you at 90 in today's market, you're doing something wrong, I think, right?
Yeah,
you overpriced, or yeah, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So some other tools that we use for ARV and comping properties, networking relationships. I think that's kind of crucial, and that'll go with the quote that we ended it. We're gonna end this with too. AVMs, which are automated valuation models, which we have one down there. They're not always accurate as either. Okay. Some of
they
them
actually give you a confidence score, almost all of them. Over here on the right, confidence and forecast deviation, and it explains right underneath it what it means. But you want that confidence score to be at least 80, 85 to take that number to heart.
Yeah.
I've seen it as low as 40.
Wow. And so that again, just another tool in your tool belt. Right?
It's just as good as this estimate when it's there.
I would never rely on just one of these. Okay. The HUD sales data. Real estate auctions are a good one. That's something we don't really talk about either. That's kind of like it's a secret kept, but they're actually a good one to see how much properties are valued at and what they should be going on. And when we talk about auctions, Seth, the two properties I bought next to you went for more than what mine did, and mine will have a better cash flow.
Yep.
Right. So that kind of puts it in perspective of how valuable the auctions can be.
One of those properties changed in $54,000 in bid in less than 30 minutes. The last 15 minutes of the auction, and then it went over 15 minutes. And that final 30 minutes, it went up $54,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then I think the most powerful one, save the best for last, is consulting with experienced investors, right? Talking with investors, people on the team, people who you have in your network, whether it be realtors. I know realtors are on the other one. Realtors sometimes can have a good eye, but sometimes they may lead you wrong too, right?
It's funny. I was listening to a podcast earlier this week, actually. I think it was on Sunday, and they were talking about it. That it takes and Antoine could probably speak to it as a licensed realtor. What is it, 70, 80 hours of class time, something like that for your license?
Really?
Is that about right?
I'm not a licensed realtor.
Oh, you're not?
My wife is.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I think we got Vanessa. Vanessa, are you on? I don't know if she can hear us, if she's available. I think she is a
Yes,
realtor.
I'm on.
You're a realtor, right?
I am.
Good. How much class time did it take?
Took about 6 weeks, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah. So that's a big thing.
You can do the math. So and that's great, right? There's a lot of information. You know that to be a licensed barber in the United States, you need 1,200 hours of apprentice time. So
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, there are amazing realtors out there, right? And I've got amazing realtors in my network. I've just met a new one today, actually, and she is awesome. There are also ones that have never. I just met you today too, so there's two. But there are plenty of them out there that don't even understand what they went to school for.
Yeah.
So get to know the people in your network, right? Make sure that they're an asset to you.
Thing said 90 hours. Yeah. And so there are realtors who just go get their paperwork just to sell. They're just going with the intention of just to sell. Like, hey, maybe I can get lucky. Maybe I can catch a break. Maybe I can use my network. I've known
the ones that are out there doing deals. They're going to know the market. If they're actually doing deals, they're going to know the market.
I swear this year I've seen. Last year I saw the most realtors into the market, and this year I've seen the most leave. Right. People have shifted what they thought was going to be easy money. And so to the realtors that's still in it, they usually have a brand, they have a following, they're bringing value. Those are the ones that are going to make the money. So I'm sure you guys may have realtors in your local network. Those are the ones that we want you guys to start networking. I always encourage, link up with 10 realtors.
Yep.
Find 10 in the area, right? Find some that are investor friendly. Not all realtors are investor friendly. Some are just, hey, I just want to sell you a primary. But the investor friendly ones will know, like, hey, after this one's done, this is how much it should be worth. This is how much I'll list it for. So make sure you analyze with that in mind as well. Any questions? I know this is like a lot of jewels and a lot of pieces in this one. So any questions? Let's open it up to the public. Ray, can you describe your process in vetting realtors? Ooh, Tim, that's a good one.
That is
right, I'll give some jewels away, I guess. So one, if I network with all realtors, right? And my loyalty, and I tell every realtor when I meet them, my loyalty is whoever brings me the deal, right? If you bring me a deal, if you get it to me first, I'm gonna work with you, right? Doesn't matter what it is. I got realtors I've done 5 deals with it, but if a new realtor brings me a deal, I'm gonna work with them. Don't care if my other guy get it to me next. That's my loyalty to them because it's about who's gonna attack that. You got to know my buy box, right? That's number 2. There are realtors out there, and I'm part of so many freaking lists. I swear I got to just unsubscribe for them. Guys, when you start looking for your realtor, tell them put you on a list of like, hey, I want to find this or I want to find that. Define your buy box. But make sure the realtor has a very clear and concise knowledge of what you are looking for. If I show you guys my email, I have single family homes in Wichita from people that I've networked with to like one realtor today. He sent me like a $40 million deal. And I was like, dude, that's like, I'm not taking that down. That's like out of my buy box. So make sure, and a realtor has to have a clear knowledge of like, hey, this is what Ray would like, right? So when I'm vetting a realtor, I'm making sure that they understand clearly these are the things that I'm looking for. And if they have a clear representation of that, my job is to do the due diligence when I'm, analyzing these deals, right? The realtors, I'm the coach. Remember that? We talked about that last week. I'm the coach. The realtor only as good as what I tell them I need.
Yep.
You got to remember, every realtor get commission. They get paid from you. So make sure that you do your due diligence. I'm looking for realtors that are hustle, that'll make sure that I'm top of funnel, right? I'm taking care of my realtors. If I see realtors out at lunch, hey, let me get you lunch.
I think that's my number one thing when I'm talking to realtors, right? Like my conversation with them, if I walk away from that conversation and say that person's hungry, I'm going to work. They're worth my time and effort to see if I can't, put deals together with that person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's in my business, across the board. I want hungry people, driven people.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this though, right? So if you're in your own business, I know a couple of you guys own your own business, right? Ashley, you own your own business. Nicole, you own your own business. If you ran into somebody that was aligned with your business though, right? And you ran into them at lunch or, you had the opportunity to network with them, you would network with them. I do that with realtors. This is my business. So I'm a network with every realtor available. Vanessa, if you send me a deal in New York or New Jersey, I'm a network with you. right? I want you to send me that deal. That's the point of being here. This is network. So when I vet realtors, it's about, hey, give me the deal first. You just send it to 10 other people, 20 other people. I want to be one of that top of funnel. I want the deal before I hit the damn MLS. I want your pocket listings. I want your expired listings. But I make sure that they know that from the beginning too. I make sure I define my buy box very well to them. So I hope that answered your question. I dropped some jewels. Went a little rant just now.
And as an investor, right? Like an investor and a realtor can work together in symphony.
Symmetry.
Symmetry, very, very, very well, right? Like there's a lot of times when realtors go on a listing appointment, they haven't actually got that listing agreement yet, and they just know this is going to be a headache, this is going to be a problem, this person's going to be a problem, right? And cash probably is the best option. I can call Seth. Seth can solve this, and not only will Seth solve this problem, he'll make me look like a hero, and I'm going to get referrals. Seth's not going to get referrals from that client. I'm going to get referrals from him. Right?
Yeah. And it's about them knowing who you are.
Yep.
Right? They're not just selling you a house. It's more of like, hey, I'm selling you an investment property. So there's actual, like, you got to know what I'm looking for. Nicole put she dropped something in the chat. Investor friendly, agree. You got to be investor friendly. A lot of deals you're gonna send me are probably junk, right? Aggressive in a search. I agree with that. I like that. Aggressive in a search, willing to find those deals. Stick to my criteria. That's your buy box standards. Does not push me if the numbers do not work. Yeah. There are a lot of pushy realtors that are like, I'll tell you guys about a deal in DC. I'll tell you about it. I don't even care. If y'all want to hear, I'll tell you. But I got a deal in DC with one of my buddies, and the realtor is just pressing him. Hey, look, you guys should really do this. It's the best neighborhood. It's up and coming. And the numbers do not check out. We're not going to do the deal. Like, we're just not going to do that. Step away. We're done. You got to know that. And so the realtor has to know that as well.
Yep.
She also said go to local meetups, conferences. Yeah, we encourage you guys to do all that. Make sure you're meeting up with other people in your local area. This network is just the beginning. We want to bring more people in from bigger areas, but this is just the beginning for you guys. Network in your area, conferences. We'll be going to some conferences. I will be at Toronto Multifamily Conference. I'll be at Bigger Pockets this year. I think I can't announce who's speaking. I got some inside information, but I can't announce who's speaking. But I'll be at Bigger Pockets. I'll be at Limitless this year. So go to those conferences. Go to those networking conferences. Huge, guys. If you haven't met me yet in person, I want to see your ass there, right? I want to see you guys there at those conferences. So let's make sure you schedule at least one. If you want to be an investor, schedule at least one conference this year, right? If you want to sell, if you're a real estate agent, you want to sell to investors, schedule one conference this year. I guarantee that network will make it.
You find a 3-day event like Limitless or Bigger Pockets or something like that, $700-800, right? Is the base entry into it. It's the best money you'll spend on your business.
Network is crazy there. I mean, out off this roof. What else? Bree dropped a little jewel. Little hack I've used is finding realtors who have active listings and zip codes I'm interested in. Yes. Search for realtors in the area you're trying to invest. I tell all my students, right? And all my students here, they know. Call 10 realtors in that area. Call 10 wholesalers in that area. If you want deal flow, start with that. That's a baseline. 10 is easy, right? I know in my local market, we probably got, 1,000 realtors, right?
More than that.
Yeah, 1,600, I think they said was the call at least 10, right? And if you don't get text back from 10, call another 10. And if only 3 text you back, call another 10. You keep going at it. Nothing happens overnight. You got to chisel down at it. If they have active listings or recently sold distressed properties before and after rental, start with them. Yeah, they know what they're looking for, right? If they can find that before and after, they know what they're looking for, right? They deal with investors. Very true. Great tip for everybody. Tim's trying to get us to go to Cancun, BPCon. Oh my God, Tim. Oh man. Yeah, I might have to make BPCon. I might have to make a trip. It's beautiful weather in Cancun, so.
Yeah, it's bending my arm to make me go to Cancun.
Yeah, man, I'll be there. I'll be there. Yeah, BPCon is gonna be fire. I think Nicole knows who's speaking there, so we know it's gonna bring the heat. I think some of us know who's gonna be there. It's gonna be a great one. So if you guys can go to BPCon, Limitless, multifamily conference, whatever your niche is, whatever you want to learn. Realtors, if you're going to real estate conferences, honestly, if I'm a realtor and I'm licensed in certain areas, like I know Vanessa, you're licensed in New York, New Jersey, etc. I would be at those because you're going to be with people, typically cash buyers and people who are ready to buy, right? Most of the time, people in here, they're ready to buy. They're either looking for the next deal, solidifying the next deal. We're buyers, right? So being in this network is huge. Cool. Any other questions? Anything we can add, value we can add for you guys before we wrap up for this evening? Tonight went so damn fast, Seth.
I know it flew.
It went so fast, man.
It's good stuff though.
Yeah. This is a lot. For my students, I'll make sure to drop
Maria, I know that you mentioned that this topic was kind of close to something that you were looking for. So is there anything else that we didn't cover that you have any questions on?
No, I think this is a good start. Thank you. I do have one question. Maybe I don't know. But if I'm looking at like a duplex, for example, and it's 3 beds, 2 baths, do I look at like another duplex? Or can I do a search for 6 beds, 4 baths?
I would look at another duplex. Duplexes are pretty easy to find in this area specifically. In most areas, duplexes are easier to find. Triplex, and then when you get up to the 4 units, that's why we use what's called the NOI, net operating income. Okay. And an income approach. Some appraisers, even for a duplex, and Steph, I don't know about you, but I've seen some appraisers do like an income approach, especially like on a DSCR and investment property.
On a DSCR, it almost always happens that way.
Yeah.
I've actually had lenders get an appraisal back, and I was like, "How much did it appraise for?" She said, "I don't know. I don't care. Show me your leases. Show me your income. That's what I'm basing it on, right?
That's it.
It's an asset based, right? They care about the income, but yeah, as far as for the appraisal and things of that nature, you definitely if you're looking at a duplex, you definitely want to stick with a duplex. And look at similar ones. You can actually throw. I would throw a 3 unit in with that before I threw a single family. Single family is just a completely different animal.
Different people buy single family to live in. I mean, that is it. A duplex, triplex, those are investment properties, investment vehicles. So keep that in mind. Antoine asks, what is a DSCR? Debt service coverage ratio. So if you hear, and we're gonna have my guy Keelan, he's gonna be on. He's gonna talk about credit, using credit to finance your next, investment property. Some credit tactics. Great dude. But if you hear people buying real estate with no doc loans, right, or little doc loans, and a DSCR loan is pretty much gonna say, hey, look, I don't care about your W-2. I don't care if you have a job. All I care about is the property and that it cash flows. That's it.
Yep.
Right. So as for me as an investor, the only time I get pulled on, like, I guess they'll pull like a income, not even an income statement. I can't think of the name. But the only time they'll ask me for information is a traditional bank. Right. DSCR loans is the new investment vehicle. Like, it's the new drive of the future. It's, hey, does this property cash flow? Yes or no? Right. And what does it cash flow at? So like I mentioned, making sure you have those rents readily available. And most DSCR loans are going to ask to have a 1.25%, right? So if your debt, that's in taxes, insurance, mortgage payment is $1,000, your rent has to be $1,250. At $1,250, that's a 1.25. They'll give you the freaking loan. Right. Some may ask for, like, I know one of the students, we have some, they had to have certain reserves left. There are minimums, like most DSCR won't do a purchase price under $75,000. Right. It gets a little tricky there. It's not that it's impossible, it just gets tricky. So they do have minimums. But this is when you get to bigger real estate too, like especially commercial. When I go buy a commercial building and I say like commercial is 4 or more, They're not asking me for, hey, Ray, we need to see how much money you make a year. They're not asking me that. They say, hey, how much does this asset make? Where can you get the asset at? Your purchase price and how much will you cash flow at the end, right? If I'm buying it for 10,000, I need to bring in 1250 or 12.5 a month. That's it. So DSCR is definitely, honestly, the only thing better than DSCR is seller finance. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, Bree asked what was the difference between the DSCR and the hard money or hard money loans for flips and quick turnaround and DSCR for long term. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Typically, a hard money loan is only going to be anywhere from 6 to 24 months. It's going to have a higher interest rate. It's going to have points involved and things of that nature. The DSCR is typically going to be anywhere from a 20 to a 30-year fixed.
And so for even with hard money too, I guess so we've seen like a lot of these DSCR companies start to bundle in hard money.
They'll call it a bridge.
Bridge, yeah, they're offering bridge loans, yeah, and they're really pushing for it actually because they get higher points on it. They keep the loans in house, right? So if you go get, let's say you do a construction, like I do a rehab project, they'll bundle in the construction cost. Hey, 100%, we'll finance 100% of construction costs. A little couple extra interest points here and there, and then you refile with us too, right? So they're bundling these things in. So if you can find a good DSCR company there's tons of them out there, tons. Actually, Seth, you know what? I don't know if I texted you. You want to get my DSCR guy on?
Yeah, you did. And yeah, I think I sent you the date.
Okay.
It's not on our agenda yet.
Okay. We're gonna have a guy from one of the DSCR companies I use. It's called Easy Street Capital. Right. I'm gonna have one of their guys come out. It is a great company. They specialize in these no-doc loans, very easy to work with. I work with them for a ton of stuff. They'll help you work through the construction process, the building process. If you want to build from ground up, they got loans for that. Yeah. And these are like I mentioned, no-doc loans. They don't care about your W-2 job. They don't care about your income. They just want to make sure that these properties cash flow.
We had Lindy Pond on a month and a half, 2 months ago or so. She does those. I work with two national ones. And they have those bridge hard money type loans and then the DSCR long-term financing. And honestly, it's super convenient for the investor too, right? Like,
yeah.
Maybe you pay a little bit more on your interest, but to not have to worry about any of the documentation, to not have to worry about going and getting extra appraisals. Most of the time, if you've got a bridge loan with them, they already know it. They've come out and inspected multiple times. You don't even need to get an appraisal.
Let me add this too. I'm going to give you guys some huge value, right? When you go get a DSCR loan, I'm not advocating for any DS, I'm not advocating for any, but when you go get a DSCR loan, I can close in like 30 to 60 days, right? I do deals with banks too. Sometimes bank funding, 60, 90, 90, 120, right? That's how many days it could take because they have board members they have to meet with, and then they got to get it approved by the board. They still do the underwriting, but the underwriting takes forever. They do the appraisal, but appraisal takes forever. It just takes a process, right? And a DSCR loan streamlines the process. Seth, that building we closed with you, you bought me that deal, or we got that deal within like 30 days closed. Like, yep. I think it might have been like under 30. I knew it was like a push. It was like a rush document, but we got this property finance closed, and I could have paid for the damn thing in cash, but leverage OPM. But we got it pushed in 30 days. Yep. So when I go and I put an offer on deals and I'm trying to buy deals, when I put in an offer, that's a competitive advantage for you guys. Hey, look, I'll close this in 60 days, right? I'll do my due diligence. We'll get this deal closed in 60 days. We'll get it done in 30 days. When I make my offers, usually if I make an offer, I'm like, hey, I'll close in 30 days.
I've closed in 14 days.
Yeah.
With a hard money guy.
Yeah. So those are other tools that you guys can have in your tool bag to make sure, like, hey, look, we'll get this done quick. All right.
And it's all about building a relationship, having a relationship with that company to be able to do stuff like that.
Yeah. So hopefully we brought you guys some value tonight. starting March 1st, I think is when we're going to be doing our extra Wednesday call. To the people here, my students, you guys will have access to that for free. We're going to give you guys that for free. Any other newcomers, make sure you get all your friends in. Make sure you get them in before. We're going to charge for that on a Wednesday call. But for you guys here, you guys will have access to that for free. I'm going to be setting up the stream and streamlining it for you guys. All right. So we do appreciate you guys. Quote of the week. If everyone you talk to is having difficulty seeing your vision for a property, it could be either one or two things. It's a hell of an idea, revolutionary idea that will prove everyone wrong, or a bad idea that everyone recognizes as a bad idea except for you, right? So when you're analyzing these deals, make sure you use those tools that we gave you, right? Because you might be like, man, this estimate sure is right. I could make 40,000 on this thing. And everyone else.
Every other tool tells you that it's a bad deal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So make sure that you analyze. That's from Ken McElroy. Ken's one of my mentors, over 3 billion, I think, 2 or 3 billion in real estate transactions. So great guy, great to know in real estate. I know billions. So it's been a pleasure, guys. Any other questions before we wrap up? Hopefully we left you guys some value. Again, if we don't have your information, drop it in the chat. I want to make sure I follow everybody on Instagram. If you don't follow me, make sure you follow me. DM me if you have any questions. Reach out.
I have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so would a DSCR loan be something that I could obtain after just purchasing the other property?
100%.
Yes?
Yes. So the only thing you need capital for a down payment.
Okay. And you
So-
said that's 1.5, right?
No, you're
Of
gonna
the
need 20%. You're gonna need 20% down.
Okay.
So DCR, 20 to 25, depending on what company you work with. I know my company asking for 20%. It also depends on your credit score, things like that. You can kick back and forth. And it also depends on a relationship that you have with your DSCR lender, right? For some properties,
Now you can get them where some of them after 90 days or 180 days, they're what's called seasoned properties at that point, and then they go off appraised value versus purchase price. But within that first, when it just happens in that first turnaround, almost always they're going to do it just like a purchase price.
yeah.
Okay, so then let me ask another question just to follow up. So what Tim was saying last week about skip tracing and then going direct to the seller, do you think that would be a better option?
Yeah, seller finance is always going to be number one, right?
Okay.
Seller finance, in my eyes, I think everybody here that is an investor would all agree. Seller finance, going direct to seller and skip tracing them is going to be a better option. However you get to them, whether you skip trace them, you go door knock, you cold call them, however you get to them, that's always going to be the best route, but it's time consuming, right? This shit takes time. I'm sure all these guys will agree too. It takes time to do that. And so it is a commitment to do that. But it is seller finance. I've done seller finance deals, and they are the best deals that you can have.
The power
Yes.
of seller financing versus bank financing is that DSCR loan, that bank rep, that BB&T rep or whatever. BB&T's out of business anyway. But the conventional bank, any of those things, right? They set your terms.
Yeah.
Seller finance is different. If I'm buying a property from Ray Seller Finance, me and him are working out the terms right now. Terms are 100% negotiable between me and Ray. So that's the power there. That's why seller finance is always going to be more favorable.
And we've hosted, Seth, me and you have done that before, and maybe we should just bring it back again for some content later on. Is to do talk about seller finance, creative finance again. I know we did it not too long ago. I'll share some deals. I have some new deals that I've done. I mean, some of us have done deals in here. Maybe we can share too. So some people are looking to invest and don't know where to start. Seller finance might be a good way for you guys.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's all about how you pitch it. It's all about how you ask for it.
Yeah, Nancy's been calling. Tim got 30, don't call again. Yeah, I'll tell you guys, and I tell my students, I don't cold call, I don't do that. I'm not cut for it, and I don't have the time for it. Me and Seth are gonna put together some content for my students though. You guys will have access to it.
I don't cold call, but my company does about 4,000 to 5,000 phone calls a month.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we absolutely cold call. I just don't. Right.
yeah. And so, I mean, this has been a great call. I think this has been an amazing call. We hope to see you guys next week. Credit built right. Use the credit for your investments. We got my guy Keelan on. He's going to be talking about how to build your credit hacks. This dude gave me some hacks that I don't know. I'll let him explain it to you. I was pretty damn impressed. And so we hope to see everybody on. Make sure again that you guys have dropped your Instagram, dropped your Facebook. We look forward to seeing you guys. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And we hope to see everybody next week.
Yep. And if you guys are local to the Morgantown area or anywhere close and you want to come out Thursday at 6:30 p.m. in Morgantown at Mountaineer Tap House, we'll be meeting up there as well.
I will be there. Actually, yes, I will be there Thursday too, Seth. So I'm gonna make it. All right, I'll put it on my schedule. I think I got some free time Thursday.
Ashley said she's coming too.
Ashley's coming. Good thing. I hope you're there. Everybody,
Larissa and Maria are there almost every. Jody's there almost every week, every month.
Good.
Joy needs to come.
I gotta go. If you guys are on, I gotta post it. But I'll be talking about speaking and investing in the U.S. to some Canadians who want to invest in the U.S. So hopefully I'll see you guys soon. All right.
Sounds good. Y'all guys have a good one. Thank you.